What's it like being a Black woman in the modern world? Today's world is one in which Black women are breaking boundaries in various fields of endeavor. Now, this progress comes with the added responsibility to function in other aspects of life.
Black women, like other groups of women, are also expected to perform their traditional roles as mothers, wives, and members of the community.
While many women are able to wear these hats with poise and grace, it still creates a burden of expectation that weighs heavily on many, causing a variety of mental health challenges.
When a Black woman seeks help for her mental health issues, she's likely to encounter a number of barriers and challenges, both intentional and unintentional, one of which is the inability of healthcare providers to respond to her unique needs, which may be through her identity, values, and lived experiences.
Mental health is not often discussed freely due to the stigma attached to it. This is even truer in the Black community, where the Black woman is often praised for being strong and independent, an overused trope that now needs to be re-examined because of the weight of responsibility it puts on women.
Black women are strong and seek independence, but like anyone anywhere else, they face mental health issues and require help.
On the other end of the spectrum is the angry Black woman trope. For many Black women, this stigma comes at the cost of being stereotyped as mad or angry or out of control whenever she displays heightened emotions.
For many Black women, navigating the workplace can require a level of code switching and suppression of emotion so as not to play into those stereotypes. This can lead Black women to feel intimidated, which can silence them. We believe it's time to talk about it.
To access the right type of treatment, we have prepared these guidelines for Black women. This training video will establish the best standards and quality care. So let's begin.
These are some of the signs that you need to talk to someone or seek therapy. Do you find it difficult to control heightened emotions due to specific stresses? Have your emotions hindered you from achieving your goals? Have you been cutting or inflicting pain on your body when distressed? Do you have thoughts of ending your life? Are you currently using prescription medication to cope with emotional problems? Do you struggle to get up in the morning? Do you find it difficult to carry out routine tasks at work or at home? Are your personal issues beginning to affect your relationship with family and friends? Are there any sharp changes in your physiological functions? Are you facing any personal dilemmas related to your identity? Are you seeking to equip yourself with skills to prevent the onset of future mental health problems? If any or all the signs apply to your situation, it's time for you to talk. While seeking mental health care is important, it is equally important to know if your healthcare provider is ideal for your situation. Here are some of the things to look for in a mental health care provider. Number 1. Adequate qualifications and up-to-date knowledge in the field of mental health for Black women. Number 2. Provides a structured treatment plan with clear objectives and milestones. Number 3. Aware of modern cultural dynamics and the role that they play in the lives of Black women. Number 4. Provides a practical approach to treatment with useful solutions. Number 5. Open to dealing with patients from diverse backgrounds, cultures, and worldviews. How you can benefit from appropriate mental health care. Number 1. Timely diagnosis of your current state of mental health. Number 2. Relief from unburdening your emotions. Number 3. A sense of community and shared experiences. Number 4. Coping skills to deal with emotional stresses and trauma. Number 5. Medical prescriptions for long-term relief.
As Black women taking on a fast-paced world, we owe it to ourselves to be in the best mental state possible. That's why we need appropriate treatment that responds to our unique needs, empowers us, and allows us to be ourselves, our authentic selves.
Now let's talk about your interactions with a therapist. What does a healthy interaction look like? A client must feel comfortable enough to be open and honest about their troubles. Therapists must ensure there are no distractions and disruptions.
A patient must trust the ability of the therapist to understand and relate to the unique experiences that have impacted negatively on them, causing them to seek professional help. This trust is a fragile one. If nurtured correctly, the patient becomes more relaxed and able to open up. If this trust is mismanaged, the interaction becomes less likely to achieve the desired results.
There are countless models and approaches in psychotherapy. The right approach for you will root out any causes, any trauma, underlying issues that might be impacting your mental health. And that is the role of a therapist who must suspend their own beliefs and biases and practice active listening.
Sometimes therapists with limited cultural perspective and sensitivity lean into stereotypes. A stereotype is a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing. The problem with stereotypes is that they reduce Black women's experiences to tropes and do not allow the therapist to see the patient as an individual with unique ideas, preferences, and experiences. There is more to people than what they appear to be. A good therapist looks beyond the superficial and does not assume to know the patient merely due to their appearance or cultural background. Microaggressions are subtle, often unintentional or intentional verbal or nonverbal behaviors that communicate negative messages about a person's identity or background. In therapy, microaggressions may arise due to differences in cultural understanding or unconscious biases. Understanding the impacts of microaggressions that invalidate racial experiences, family structures, cultural and religious practices during therapy is crucial in clients feeling safe enough to open up about their experiences. General guidelines for therapists. Number 1. Commit to an ongoing practice of learning to identify and address personal biases and understanding your own social positioning that may impact dynamics within therapy. Number 2. Get curious about clients' unique experiences rather than stereotyping them. Number 3. Avoid making assumptions about a client's background based on generalized research about their race or ethnicity. Number 4. Become aware of ways in which you may be committing microaggressions such as lack of curiosity, gaslighting, or engaging from a patronizing space. Number 5. Acknowledging difference and openly expressing commitment to inclusivity. Number 6. Use culturally sensitive recourses. Here are some examples of ways to take an appropriate approach to address clients. Number 1. Living situations. A traditional approach. Where do you live? A culturally sensitive approach. Can you share a bit about your current living situation? What feels like home to you? Number 2. Family structures. A traditional approach. Are you married? Do you have children? A culturally sensitive approach. Tell me about the people who are important in your life. This could include family, friends, or anyone you consider family. What does your support system look like? Number 3. Relationships. A traditional approach. Are you in a romantic relationship? A culturally sensitive approach. Let's talk about the important relationships in your life. This could include romantic, family, or friendship connections. How do these relationships influence your well-being? Number 4. Cultural identity. A traditional approach. What's your cultural background? A culturally sensitive approach. I'm interested in learning more about your cultural identity. How do you connect with and express your cultural background? What does it mean to you? Number 5. Mental health history. A traditional approach. Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental health condition? A culturally sensitive approach. Tell me about any challenges you've faced in the past or if you went to a doctor or other professional for support.
Research shows that what makes therapy effective is the relationship between the therapist and the client. That's why it's important that the therapist uses culturally sensitive language and remains open, respects, and values the client's unique perspective and identity.
Healthy interactions are the foundation of any successful mental health intervention. Now, this is because they set the ground for culturally sensitive treatment. This goes beyond avoiding microaggressions. It involves crafting a line of communication that is designed to achieve optimal results.
What are some culturally sensitive topics that can come up in therapy?
I would say politics, wealth and finance, and religion.
Sex, gender, and substance use. Race and cultural heritage.
I'd say trauma and family dynamics.
What areas can the culturally sensitive approach be applied? Let's talk about otherness. The concept of otherness refers to the state of being different or distinct from what is considered the mainstream or familiar. Acknowledging otherness involves respecting and valuing these differences rather than viewing them as inferior or deviant. The concept of being othered by a therapist refers to the experience of feeling marginalized, misunderstood, or treated as different or other within the therapeutic relationship. A case study. Samantha, a single mother with a strong connection to her Nigerian heritage, started seeing a therapist named Dr. Smith to talk about her struggles with anxiety and self-esteem. In the first few sessions, Samantha noticed that Dr. Smith often brought up her cultural background, focusing on it more than other aspects of her life. While Samantha valued her heritage, she felt that Dr. Smith was making assumptions based solely on her ethnicity, often emphasizing aspects related to being Nigerian. This made Samantha feel like her therapist was not seeing her as a whole person with a range of experiences beyond her ethnicity. In a subsequent session, Samantha decided to express her feelings.
Dr. Smith, I appreciate you recognizing my culture, but I'm more than just my ethnicity. I want to talk about other things too.
Of course, I sincerely apologize, and I'm very grateful for you sharing with me how you're feeling and how I've made you feel. I want this to be a culturally sensitive space, and of course, I have not succeeded in that.
Dr. Smith, realizing the impact of her approach, apologized and acknowledged Samantha's feelings. From that point on, Dr. Smith adjusted her approach. She actively listened to Samantha's experiences without overemphasizing her cultural background. The therapy sessions became more balanced, allowing Samantha to explore various aspects of her life. In this case scenario, Samantha's experience reflects the concept of feeling othered in therapy due to therapy's focus on a specific aspect of her identity. The resolution involves open communication, therapist self-reflection, and an adjustment of therapeutic approach to create a more inclusive and balanced environment. The culturally sensitive approach. Do's and don'ts. Do's.
Acknowledge otherness. Create space for people to express whoever they are. Be culturally competent. Listen actively. Self-reflect. Avoid stereotyping and practice cultural humility. Use culturally sensitive language. Self-reflection. Identify your own biases, prejudices, and assumptions so that you're not impacting your clients. Apply the anti-oppressive approach. Take an active stance against oppressive systems. Advocate for equity, justice in your community. Dismantle discriminatory practices. Practice flexibility in ideals. Cultural norms and values are ever-changing and evolving, and you want to adapt so that you're evolving your cultural knowledge.
Number 6, engage in social activism. Work towards challenging various injustices or inequalities when dealing with your clients, with the goal to improve well-being through advocacy. Number 7, ensure to address paradoxes. Recognize, confront, and walk through contradictions or conflicting elements within the therapeutic relationship or the client's experiences to maintain a safe space. Number 8, prioritize emotional safety. Create an environment where individuals feel secure, heard, and respected, prioritizing emotional well-being in therapy. Number 9, show respect for authority. Recognize and respect the uniqueness of everyone in the therapeutic relationship. Number 10, practice cultural humility. Approaching therapy with an attitude of openness, humility, and a willingness to learn from the cultural experiences of clients. Don'ts.
You know what I find very important is to not prototype people.
Very important.
For example, oh, you're from Nigeria. I had a client from Nigeria last year.
Who says that?
Honestly.
Something else that we're not going to do is acculturating. Oh, here in Canada, we believe in children's rights to choose and do their own thing, and your parents don't seem to understand that.
Absolutely not.
No.
Or historicizing. Oh, you know, I realize that Black people have experienced a lot of oppression in the past, but it's 2024 and we should push past that now.
We're not pushing past anything.
No, absolutely not. Make me want to barf.
Right?
As a matter of fact, I might barf now.
We might barf together. And you know something else that we're going to avoid doing is erasure, right? We're going to stop. We're not going to say to people, I know you have your ideologies and beliefs, but we're going to put all those aside and focus on self-care. No, we're not. No. People are their ideologies.
You're a whole person. There's no binary. I'm here, but I'm not this now. No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
It's also really important that we're not fetishizing.
That's the worst of them all.
I love working with Black girls, and it makes me feel so great to be working with you.
This is creepy.
No,
this is creepy. Absolutely. And another thing we're not going to do is mythologize. We're not going to do that to people. We're not going to say, I know Black people are so strong and can handle high degrees and amounts of stress. No, we can't.
But how's that going to help anybody?
It's not.
No. Okay, great.
So those are things that we're not going to do.
Okay. Promise?
Promise.
As Black women, it's important for us to continue on the road to progress. However, this progress must not come at the cost of our health, our emotional well-being, or our relationships with people around us. These guidelines are necessary to ensure that Black women benefit from mental health care without any distractions or impediments. We hope that with the right kind of treatment being offered in a safe and culturally sensitive environment, we Black women can and will continue to make enormous strides and uplift one another to higher levels of success. Thank you.